Okay, I have started recording, and
Okay, good.
I'm just gonna get your voice through the mic, just like mine, through the TV speakers. Which is
It's
not
fine. I'm doing the same.
okay. Cool. Um, I always start these by asking you to tell me how many of my videos, typing videos, have you seen before?
I haven't seen any like full on, like all of the video. I usually just watch some snippets. So like around 5-ish. I usually watch the beginnings and kind of the ends and
Okay.
have short
Um,
attention span, I guess.
Imagine you're a dog, and
Okay.
a ball is thrown to you. You've got four choices. You can decide whether to get the ball after it's thrown. You can
Okay.
catch the ball when it's thrown. You can pretend to go get the ball when it's thrown, but really try to play keep away with your owner.
Yeah.
Or you can decide what to do once the ball is thrown, depending on where it lands.
Mm. So that's my owner's throwing the ball.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm most likely gonna decide depending on where the ball lands, but I mean, it depends on the shape of the ball and how pretty the ball is, I guess, and how used I am to. I don't know.
How much does it matter? How much does it matter how much your owner wants you to get the ball?
I mean, I guess if you play a lot, I'm probably gonna be more inclined to catch the ball. But this is I'm pretending to be a dog here. I've never
Right.
been one before.
Sure. I've never asked this question before. It's just I'm working on a video that's making this
Grant,
dog analogy, saying each type
yeah,
of the dog, how they react differently to like food or whatever, like to try to
Grant,
demonstrate the types. But anyway, all right. Let me ask you this: Can you explain the reasoning why the person who rear ends somebody else is the one who's liable?
is that because they should be paying attention to the one in front of them rather than the one in front paying attention to what's behind. So say the one that's driving on the front, something happened and they have to stop. The one that's behind is the one that should be liable for paying attention to what's in front of them the same way the other one needs to stop if like a dog crosses or whatever. So that's why he's liable if he rears end.
Okay,
I
so
think.
um, is what you're saying that the need to stop suddenly is not completely under your control, whereas the need to, the ability to keep a safe distance is
It's
completely
within your control.
is under your
Yeah,
control. Okay.
yeah. It's basically it, if I were to
Um,
theorize it.
what do you think about the requirement that people have car insurance to drive? I don't know if you live in a place where that is, but it is in California.
Yeah, I do live in a place where that is. I've Here it's kind of a given. Like you can't buy a car unless you get car insurance. So I think it's like less of a thing that people debate. However, um,
But just to clarify, I'm not talking about a car you haven't paid off yet and therefore have to insure. I'm
yeah,
talking about a
we're talking
car
about a car that you own.
you own
I
clear.
think I think it's for the benefit of other people more than you. Like I don't think people should be made to get car insurance if they have the money to pay for their own cars, but for the sake of the other drivers, they might need to get one.
Have to get liability insurance in case they're responsible for an accident.
Yeah, and can't be responsible, especially rear ending to somebody else, then that poor guy shouldn't have to be paying the bills to repair his car if you're the one who's,
What do
you
you
know.
think about the idea of everybody should have to get walking insurance as well? So in case they bump,
Walking?
in case walking,
That's
yeah.
the thing.
Well, I'm just saying. Let's pretend I'm proposing it. You're you're
Oh, that's
you're
pretending.
you're in the House of Representatives, and I'm standing in front of the House of Representatives, and I'm saying, fellow House of Representatives members, I would like to introduce to you my bill today, which is
Yeah.
mandatory walking insurance for all Americans. How many times are people injured because they bump into each other and neither party is insured for the damages done by said bumpage. To protect the
It's not
innocent
stupid.
from unremediable liability, we need to mandate that every American purchase walking insurance.
I mean, it's not a stupid idea. Granted, you give me enough data about how many people get into accidents where basically they kind of hurt each other, and compare it to other in other situations where insurance is required. Like for example, I don't know, compare it like for me to statistical data of like car accidents that happen, and then maybe we could see if. I mean, if we require car insurance and cars cause as many accidents and or like little accidents than walking does, then why not? I I'd create that company that
I
sells
know
insurance. Make
usually,
sure when you
usually, okay, usually when I bump into somebody, I do end up killing them. Um,
I mean,
I've
it
got
depends. Do
very
you have a
sharp
keyboard?
shoulders. I've got very, very sharp shoulders. So if I bump into you, there's a good chance I'm going to decapitate you by accident.
Damn. If it's a good sell, I'll sell it. Like it's extra way to make money. I wouldn't buy it, but I'll definitely sell it.
Do you play the piano?
Okay. I have a weird story with the piano. I play.
Mm-hmm.
I dabble. So say I don't read sheet music, but if there's a song that I really like, I learn how to play it. I just just
Does that have
I,
weighted keys?
it does.
Did you get those on purpose?
Yes, because if I wanted to buy a piano, I should buy a proper one, even though I don't know how to play.
Well, I mean, because it gives you dynamics that you wouldn't otherwise have. So
It does, and also it makes me feel like I mean I look like an expert when I play because I play like 2 or 3 songs, but they kind of not complicated, but they're not like beginner songs. But if you ask me to play something very simple, it would be not count.
do you ever write your own songs?
I dabble sometimes now that I've played some songs now. I understand that there is something that's called chords and stuff. Like not I would say intuitively, but kinda. And and sometimes when I dabble, I just try to come up with my own stuff, and yeah, that's how I sometimes.
For lyrics, have you considered ooh ooh all night long?
No, never.
Those
What do
lyrics
you
I
mean
find
it's
are
not very
they never fail in any song.
damn? I need to check them out because I mean a lot of the references are gonna be lost on me. I'm not American, so.
If I was just joking. If you were asked to be either a competitor or a judge in a poetry contest in which you're tasked to write 5 poems in 20 minutes, and in both instances, there's a a metric to determine what's called judge variance. So like the metric to determine success in the poetry contest, if you're the poetry writer, is well you win the contest. But the metric to determine the judge is there's a bunch of other judges too, and how much you vary from the mean is bad. So if you vary from the mean more, it's bad. If you vary from the mean less, it's good.
The poem itself,
On
just to be
judging the
sure.
poems, on ranking them. So you
What
have to
was
rank
the
the
poem?
poets actually, and they each turn in 5 poems. You have to rank them on the totality of their work. One, two, three, four, five. No ties.
Okay, can I be both? Is that a possibility or not?
Well, yes, you can be both. So if you want to be both, great. But now I have the next question: which will you be better at?
I'd be better at the judging, I guess, but I think I'd be able to write the poems if I knew the judging criteria. Even though it's gonna be hard, I think mm, I don't know how good I'd be at predicting the need to be fair because it's
Okay,
gonna
the
be kind of
criterion
like
is you need to move me. You need to move my soul and change who I am fundamentally as a human being.
I mean, it would depend. I don't want to say no because this is my pride putting the line here. However, I think I'd be better at the judging. Like,
If you were tasked with
I don't
one of
know.
two tasks, you've got 30 minutes to do it. You either have to write an essay about some sort of uh, like current event or something,
Yeah.
or you have to write a short story. and it's going to be
Oh,
about the same
the
length.
essay. The essay, definitely.
The essay?
Only because I've done it before, so, I mean, it's, so yeah, I think the essay by Corinne Van.
Okay, what about a
Unfortunately,
short story or a short screenplay?
short story, no dialogue.
Do you think dialogue's more difficult than narration?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. If I said, please write a sad song that includes the following words, it includes the word moon, it includes the word squalid, and it includes the word um, uh, uh, long faced. Okay. Moon, long faced, and squalid. And you have to
Where
write
was
like 2 lines of
what?
lyrics.
What's a squalid first?
Squalid
It's a
means
funny
like
word, but I don't know what it means.
squalid means like super trashy, like if you live in squalor, you live in like dirt and your own excrement and
Oh,
stuff.
okay.
So squalid is the adjective form of it. Like this is a very squalid place. Is like I don't want to go to this place because it's too dirty.
I get it. I thought you would give me harder words. I think I'd be able to do it. Do you want me to do it, or
Yeah,
should
I
just
want
I
you
do
to
it?
I want you to come up with 1 or 2 lines of lyrics that include those 3 words: moon, squalid, and long faced.
Okay. Uh, uh, and the squalid red district. A moon lives. This is so I don't get. Squalid. I mean, no, I said a moon lived uh, watching out the window, long face. I don't know. This
Okay.
doesn't rhyme at all. I'm just
It
trying
doesn't
to.
have to rhyme. Um, like I didn't think about it until you started thinking about it. I came up with something
Yeah, if it's like cheese or I
like
don't know.
the moon shone down on your squalid surroundings or squalid place, maybe. The moon shone down on your squalid place. You're squatting in the corner, filthy, long faced.
Bravo, bravo.
Something like that. I don't know. Okay, so let me ask you some TI questions.
Okay. Oh God.
What's 2 plus 3 plus 5 plus 7?
Okay, 5 to 7, 17.
Mm-hmm. If some apricots are plums and some plums are peaches, is it necessarily the case that some apricots are peaches?
No.
If either P or Q and R,
Mm-hmm.
then S.
Then what? Sorry.
Then S. If either P or Q and
And
R,
R.
then
Then.
S.
Okay.
Not P and not Q. What can we conclude?
Not at.
Not
No.
S. Okay. You're very quick on these. Okay. Who is my mother's husband's only daughter's only son's sister in relation to me?
She's your sister, unless she's your
Yes, yes, you're
stepsister,
right.
but I
Yes,
don't know.
yes, yes. And you're clarifying that there are exceptions depending on how people are married and stuff. Okay, cool. Can you explain to me
Yeah.
why? Explain to me. Advocate in favor of invading Canada if you're the United States. I guess you're not United States. You must
Further,
be.
I didn't get the beginning. So I'm the United States, and
I want you to advocate in favor of invading Canada. You're standing in front of the Senate and you're saying, yes, we should send our military to go conquer some of Canada.
okay, Canada has great natural resources that we want to get. I mean, they have gaming industry booming. I would like want that kind of cash. They have good healthcare system, so we want to be able to get that inside of the U.S. depending on who you are. Um,
Congresswoman Kay,
we have
is it not the case we have had a long and fruitful friendship with Canada? Why attack them now?
I mean, we have a lot of friendships with a lot of countries. We still invade them. This is a matter of economics and for the good of our country. We have a lot of people. We have a lot of immigrants. We want more space. We should invade Canada.
Hmm.
I mean,
I think maybe you should throw in some stuff about how Canada's talking shit. You know.
I guess. It wouldn't convince me, but it's a good point.
Okay. Let's see. What kind of media do you most like to consume? Between music, videos, films, TV shows, plays, radio, talk shows, um,
All of them.
interpretive dance. Uh,
All of them.
which
I watch Chinese dramas and I don't speak a lick of Chinese, so I read Chinese books as well for some reason. I don't know. I actually like all of the ones you've listed I do consume, but I don't consume them. Like I go through phases, kind of like I get into something and then I delve into it and then move on to something else. The thing that I do the least is actually watch movies, but everybody watches movies, so
okay.
but still it is. Yeah.
Um, what are your thoughts about your future? You have any 2 year plan, 3 year plan, 5 year plan, anything like that?
I have goals, like I have dreams and images that flee to myself, but I don't have a lot of concrete plans. If only because I've had tried to have concrete plans before, and it usually like has the negative effect on my productivity, and so like it stresses me out more than it helps.
As soon
So
as
what
you
I try to
decide to
do,
do it, you cease to want to do it.
yes, like I'm actually, if I wanted to give a summary of where I am now, I'm actually doing my master's degree now. And before that, before I got my first undergrad degree, I changed degrees so many times. Like I had my first degree out of 8 years because I changed.
Okay, hold on a second.
Go ahead.
All right.
Hi. Can Jeffrey work with you at something like 3:15?
3:15. Yeah, that should be fine.
Okay, great. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thanks, bye. Um, if we run a little late.
It's fine.
Okay. What was I talking to you about?
You were talking about your 2 year, 5 year plans.
Oh, right.
Um,
Do you currently have children?
no, I don't.
Do you envision yourself having children eventually?
Yes, I think children are fun.
What appeals to you about having a child?
I mean, the usual things, I guess, leaving, like having some kind of legacy behind, I think is the most prevalent one. And also because, I mean, I don't want to miss out on something people say is good in life, although I'm not like 100% that I'm gonna enjoy it the same way they do. Also, I think I'm gonna be bored once I'm older. And that they're gonna provide some, not spice, but like some diversion, I guess.
They're mostly
Some,
they're mostly burdensome.
yeah, they are the same way I am burdensome to my parents.
Right? Yeah. No, no. I mean, it doesn't mean you don't love the hell out of them. All right. It's
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Like I know they're gonna be burdensome, and that's why I wouldn't want to have children now. Only because I just want to have the space to be able to make more mistakes and try out more different things. Because, but in the future, there's something I would want to have.
okay. How do you feel right now emotionally?
Right now, uh, hard to say. Like I before coming into this, I went to the bathroom a lot, so maybe I'm nervous probably. um, I don't know. I feel okay. Like this I yeah no I don't know.
How do you feel physically?
Physically, I'm a bit sweaty, so I think nervousness. But other than that, I'm like, well, I'm fine. I'm fidgety and
Okay, how do you think I feel right now?
I think you're relaxed. You've been doing this so many times. I think you're trying to make me feel at ease, and I don't think you're bored. Yeah.
No, I'm not bored. How do you think I feel? How do you think I feel physically right now?
You look kind of relaxed. You're not giving me a lot of like signals to catch up on, but we were laughing earlier and stuff, so I think I
I,
think you're good.
I feel like I need a
Maybe
I need a thing right here.
tired.
You know,
Yeah, dude.
I feel like
These
I need a
these
thing right
bad
here.
boys are
Yeah,
so
yeah.
good.
Yeah, I need a taller chair or something. Um,
Yeah, a taller chair.
that's how I feel physically. So okay, let's see. If you had to do a job for one day, a temp job, and
Okay.
you had to choose between fielding customer complaints on the phone and calming them down, or
Mhm.
going around and fixing all the little broken shit around the office, broken gate latches, broken uh, this toilet handle jiggles, you gotta make that tighter, like that kind of stuff.
Ooh, it would depend on my mood, I guess. But like I like fidgety with stuff when sometimes I'm stressed out. But however, I'd rather take the complaints. I
Okay,
think
and
it's just boring. Like
what,
I just
what would be your general approach to calming them down, given that you don't know anything specific about the complaint going into this question?
just like I'll just like feel it out. I guess like I've done kind of things like that before. But yeah, I'd feel it out. I'll just see and figure it out. Usually people are receptive to attention and stuff, and I'll just make it up as I go.
When you get mad at somebody, do you yell at them? Do you take on a condescending tone? Do you give them the silent treatment or something else?
Like real mad
Yeah,
doesn't happen
like
often,
you're pissed.
uh, but condescending, I guess.
Hmm.
I mean, actually, it depends, but yeah, condescending.
Oh, I see. You you thought it was okay for you to fuck around like that, huh?
Yeah, that one, definitely that one.
Okay.
I'm not a big yeller. It happened to me like maybe it happens to me with people that are very close and like publicly. It happened to me one time. It was so rare, like that I remember it.
Okay, so generally speaking, you're not into public conflicts.
No, that's the thing. Like I can disagree with people very publicly, and if it gets to the point where I feel like I have to, but it's never on like I'm not like mad. I'm usually just like this is wrong. It shouldn't be this way, kind of person. Um, but like never like yelling.
Would you rather be given a task where you're told the goal, like, okay, we want something that basically accomplishes this thing, let's say communicatively with party X?
Yeah.
Or would you rather have a task where you're told do step one, two, three, four, five. You don't need to know what the whole thing's for.
Oh no, not the second one. No, I would rather be given a goal and be told like, I mean, figure it out and just give me this. Like I try to do it my own way, but if I'm given like specific steps to follow, then I no. Um, I've had that happen before, and
How many horas, as they say in Spanish, a night do you sleep?
how many hours a night? Siete, I think. Seven, around eight.
Okay, how many do you think you need ideally? If you got the exact amount you feel like you should get, quote unquote, every night, how many hours would it be?
I think I'm good. I had problems sleeping, so like I have this, but boys don't mind.
So-
I'm 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 good on the sleeping. I think 7, 8 hours is usually like ideal for me.
Okay. Do you ever nap during the day, or do you get it all in one chunk at night?
I don't nap. I don't. I usually nap sometimes. Sorry, just somebody knocking. But no, I'm usually good.
Okay. What's more likely? Um, you find yourself surprised to have a home cooked meal with person Z. Is it more likely that you cooked the meal and they joined you for that meal, or they cooked the
Yeah.
meal and you joined them?
Oh, I cook the meal. Yeah, yeah. I usually cook the meals,
Do you
and I
like to
enjoy it as
cook?
well. So
You like to cook.
I do like to cook. Yeah.
Now, there's two basic styles of cooking. There's the baking style of cooking, where you try to get the recipe as precise as possible. And then there's the stir fry style of cooking, where you toss some
Nice.
shit in and stir it around and taste it, and maybe toss some other shit in. Which is
Yeah, I
your
think I
style
had
of cooking?
I think I had enough experience where I'm like pretty creative with the stir fry style. But yeah, just even like baking, it's stir fry style.
Okay. So, do you have your fair share of disasters as a consequence?
Oh, definitely. Like it does happen. But you never
Okay.
learn without trying that shit. Like
Okay. What's your position on aesthetics? From beauty is in the eye of the beholder. There is no good or bad in aesthetics at all. It's just whatever you feel. Or all the way up to, no, aesthetics is objectively so, we just can't prove it. But some things are objectively better than others.
I actually was interested in this topic before. And the answer I came up with is that it's a mix of both. Like there is a certain aspect to aesthetics and beauty that is shared by most people, and there is like some aspect to it that is very subjective. But my personal position is whatever somebody it's I don't think it's very useful to be able to decide what is aesthetic and what is not. I think people should get to give value to whatever beauty beautiful thing they want to, and that's up to them. Like there was to be like monetary value, whatever, or trade, then yeah, it should be individual.
But they should be shamed if they're wrong, right?
Oh no. I mean, I mean, hell, I find some ugly shit beautiful. If only to get it to be fair. No, everybody should get to like whatever they want to. It's fine. Like it's not impeding on anybody. Like who cares? Like why is people so invested in what other people like?
Okay, how much do you, as you walk around your day thinking about things, noticing yourself behaving or attending in various fashions, how much do you think about those experiences through a cognitive function framework or a typology framework?
Sometimes I do, only because when I got and I have like a weird relationship with cognitive function. I guess I don't know if I am trying to behave in a way that aligns with a certain type that I have been continuously told that I am through those. I mean, I wouldn't say like those very, very, very flawed tests, which is why I'm doing this today. Or if I am actually genuinely making real observations or real like not breakthroughs or like real analysis of the of my behavior and aligning it adequately with the cognitive functions. So
Okay.
I
Um, have you ever heard the potato touch story?
no.
Okay, so I'll tell it quick. I used to go to this restaurant and I'd sit at the
Okay.
counter and I noticed that when you order the meal and it comes with a baked potato, that when
Okay.
they went to put the butter in, with the waiter with their fingers would push the ends of the potato. They touch your potato on both of the ends to make it open up, and then they scoop the butter into the open up part, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so I thought to myself, okay, well, if next time I order a meal, usually I don't order a meal, I get something like breakfast or something. But if I order the meal and it comes a big potato, I'm going to keep my eye out. I'm going to make sure they don't touch my potato. If they touch it too much, I'm going to say, hey, I want an untouched potato. Anyway,
Yeah.
so sure enough, eventually I go back to the restaurant. I order a meal. And I got my eagle eye out the whole time, and then my plate arrives, and I realize, oh shit, I got rice pilaf. Now, this is an example of introverted sensing that is keeping track of a rule from before and
Yeah.
ignoring introverted intuition, which is the truth of the moment, which is I didn't get a baked potato this time. I didn't order it. I ordered rice pilaf instead. So, what I'm asking you to do is to see if you can come up with a comparable example from your own life, either of doing something like I did, or of the alternative, which might be something like I was driving one time trying to remember where I was going. I'd put a sticky note on my dashboard to remind myself where I was going, but I forgot I put it there. So when I tried to remember where I was going, I remembered back to when I left the house, and then I remember where I was going, and then I saw a sticky note, and I'm like, duh, it's right in front of me. But so that if instead of remembering back, you look at the sticky note and you remember automatically, that would be the alternative story. So can you tell me either kind or both, if you can?
Kind of both. Oh god, I'm really bad at remembering stories. Oh, well, okay. I was I was cooking something, and actually because we're in almost Muslim Morocco right now. It's Ramadan, and we cook like whatever, it's details. But however, I had to cook a meal, and then I was so upset that I didn't have these ingredients to cook it with, and I'm just like,
Sorry, 1 second.
go ahead.
Hey, Cameron. Yeah, I'm doing a typing session right now. Yeah. Sure. Where do you want me to move it to? Okay, what number is it? Okay, cool. I got you. Okay, cool. No problem. Thanks, bye. Cameron needs a favor. He doesn't want his fancy scooter to get stolen.
Um,
Um. So okay, ingredients. You were talking about
okay, you
ingredients.
guys okay? Okay, yeah, sure. So what was I? Okay, I was cooking something and I needed the garlic, and I made a huge fuss about not having garlic, etc., etc. I got super mad, called the whole family to give me garlic, and then once I got the garlic, I actually realized that I didn't have meat to cook the like the main thing. I know it's stupid story, but it's the only one, the recent one that came up to mind where basically, yeah.
Okay. Can you remember? Can you think of an instance where everybody was confused about something and you said, "Duh, it's this," and pointed out the obvious, and everyone's like, "Oh." Can you remember an instance of that ever happening?
It happens to me. I mean, in class usually happens all the time. Like people get so distracted by some details, and it's like, okay, it's like you're missing the point. This is what it is about, and I can't recall anything specific though, only because I have very crap memory. Uh, but it is something that it does happen.
What'd
But
you
I do. Yeah,
What'd you have for breakfast?
what I had for breakfast. I had chocolate and water. Not a very good breakfast, mind you.
Can you tell me a story from your personal past that links to the concept of sour grapes? Are you familiar with the word sour grapes?
Yeah, like being like, feeling.
Like, oh, I didn't. Those are dumb anyway. I don't want those anyway because they're
Yeah, I
sour
don't
and
want
bad
any.
because I can't have them. So now I don't like them anymore. Right? It can be either you
Oh,
experiencing it or somebody else experiencing it that you saw or whatever.
oh, it happened to me. I was applying to my kind of like dream company, and then they told me no, and I was like, Forget the money anyway. But yeah, I think that's like the last time that it happened to me. I try to not be that kind of person because
Okay, cool. Um, all right. So, can you break down the process of do you uh, do you put nail polish on your nails?
I do, yes.
Okay, can you break down the process, the job of painting your nails into exactly 6 steps?
6 steps. Okay. Buff my nails first, then top a bottom coat, a first coat of the colored nail polish, a second coat of colored nail polish, a top coat, and then blow on them to dry them up. It took me a bit.
That's pretty good. Um, I would have gone take off the top of the nail polish bottle, put the nail polish
Oh
on
yeah,
your fingernail.
no.
Put your nail polish on your
On the
fingers,
first one.
on the first hand. Put the nail polish on the second hand. Um, blow on the first hand, blow on the second hand. Put the thing back in, something like that.
Okay,
You
I
know.
don't, apparently I do not close my bottle and I don't open it. It's magically open, so
Okay, that's fine. All right. What kind of, if you had a dream job, describe to me your dream job.
my dream job would be a job where I have flexible hours, where I get to work around people who are like very different, super creative, and where I am actually I, doing something that's not boring, I guess. If for now I've settled down in working in video game production and like business development and partnership building. It's just in my wheelhouse, I guess. Have a business background. I kind of enjoy thinking about stuff in terms of like the business side of it and strategizing, not strategizing per se, but like looking at future horizons of how things are gonna
Okay.
pan out. So yeah.
And can you describe your ideal significant other?
Mm. I don't know, somebody who likes me, I guess. That would be requirement number one. Uh, I guess not irresponsible, only because I don't have space to be irresponsible, I guess, and we can't have two irresponsible people. At
Okay.
least money wise, or, somebody who's gonna get along with my family and that my family will like. Um, yeah, I'm just independent and, just not a sucking woman, I guess. I don't have a lot of requirements. But they feel hard enough as they are.
All right. What do you think's more important to you? That they have the same taste in media, or that um, they split the chores with you?
They split the chores.
Okay. So if they like music that you think is horrible, is that okay?
That's fine. I mean, I probably like stuff that they find horrible, so
Okay. So what's a deal breaker for you? Like, no way, I'm not getting with this person because they meow meow meow.
don't have a job. I mean, it would be one. Only because like practically, I mean, not right now. It's not that they don't have a job. Actually, that's wrong. I think it's people who are gonna be reliant on me financially. That's something that gonna be a deal breaker. Only because for fairness sake, and also for practicality, and I think sharing like some basic values and like more life stuff, like wanting to have children, for example. At least if we're talking about something long term, but yeah, like that kind of
Are
stuff.
both of you hating pandas?
No, it's fine. I mean, he can hate
He
pandas.
can hate pandas. That's okay.
Yeah, I
Um,
find them cute though, but it's fine. It's okay.
I
It's
guess they're
whatever.
quite dangerous. If you try to
They
take one into
are.
bed
They
with you,
are.
if you try
And
to snuggle
also,
up with one in bed, you could get mauled. So I wouldn't
yeah,
recommend that.
yeah. And we should leave the pandas alone. Poor animals. Like
Yeah,
they don't like them, you know.
they're not even bears.
I, I know, and it
Not?
would be so much better off if
What
so
are
many more
they?
people hated pandas.
They're
I don't
panda
know.
non-bears. Is what they are. I don't know what they are, but they're not
Oh,
bears.
But they're cute. But they're cute though.
they
I mean,
are
they're kind of
cute.
cute.
Well, sure, they're cute.
The baby.
If you like furry, adorable things.
Yeah.
Who doesn't like furry things? I think half of the internet is gonna rebel against your.
That is a good point.
I'll tell you what's cute. A crayfish. Now that's a cute pet. We have a crayfish.
That's not cute. I eat those. Like,
Well,
they're
cute,
yum.
cute and delicious are not mutually exclusive.
True, true. So I eat them.
Okay, so let's pretend I've got an invention in mind, okay? I've come up with a new invention. It's one of my textbook combination inventions, but as usual, I can't come up with any good names for it. And the marketing department is looking for some good names to sell this product, okay? The new invention is
Okay.
this. It's an iced tea maker. It's a sun tea kind of maker with a little spout on it. And additionally, it has attached to it a bird feeder on the top. So you can feed birds while making sun tea. But the only name I can come up with is sun tea dispenser slash maker with bird feeder on top. Marketing says that won't
That's a
sell.
crap name. That's a crap name. Oh God. Something with crap in it. No. uh, I don't know why kombucha is coming to mind. Like I want something with a mix of kombucha and maybe like bird feed, like sunflower seeds. I don't know.
Kombucha?
Kombucha. I like kombucha. Kombucha's great. It's birch,
It says there's no
bird and
kombucha in this whole arrangement. It's just iced tea.
who cares?
Okay, I'm with
Put
you.
bubbles in it.
I'm with you. Okay, what's another name you could come up with for it?
I had another name. What's your favorite bird? Let's go from that. I don't know. Let's try something.
A finch.
A finch? No, not finchy. That's boring. Finty? I don't know. Doesn't give the bird aspect to it enough.
How about sparrow?
Yeah, I guess. Sparrow? No, not spurty. No. No. Spare leave? No. Tivana? Not Brivana.
How about the sippin' sparrow? Or how about tea and tweets?
Tea and Twix is great. Tea and Twix, perfect. Come on.
Sure.
But
Wings.
the other ones I don't like as much.
Wings. And waters. Wings and waters. Wings, waters, and beyond.
No, that feels like Bed Body and Body Works, like
Bed, Bath, Body Works, and Beyond, Kay. Don't forget about Beyond.
No, that doesn't work. No.
God, you have to have Beyond in there. It's Bed, Bath, and
No,
Beyond.
it has nothing to do with teas. I don't agree. Let's find something else.
Okay, all right, fine. Let's move on.
Something with English.
Let's move on. How many uses can you think
Okay.
of for a empty milk carton?
It could be a poster for missing child. You could use it as a pencil holder. I don't know. You could cut it out and like make decorations out of it. You can make a bird feeder. What can you do with one? You can do a bunch of things. You can fill it up with juice and take your friends. You can I don't know.
Okay, all right, fine.
Okay.
Do you know about Inky Pinkies?
I do know about Inky Pinkies, but
Okay, so
granted, English not my first language, so.
right, sure, yeah, okay. Here's a spicy person whose body parts fall off, and it's an Inky Pinky
Spicy person?
whose body parts fall off. A spicy person whose body parts fall off.
And something amputee or something zombie?
No, what disease makes your body parts fall off?
What disease makes your body like leprosy? Leopard, pepper leopard.
There you go. Okay, that's quick.
Sorry.
That's quick.
Exactly.
Quick from the clue to the answer. Okay. How about this? Um. Somebody who cleans dirt off of a person shooting from long distance. That's an Inky Pinky.
Person cleaning dirt off, somebody shooting
From long distance.
long distance. Damn. Somebody sniper.
Somebody cleaning dirt off of a person shooting from long distance.
Wiper sniper?
A sniper wiper.
A sniper wiper. Okay, I was close.
You're good at these. You're good at these. Can you make one up for me?
Okay. Okay, metal longfish. It's gonna be an inky pink, I think.
Okay. Okay. What rhymes with pike that's a metal?
No.
No.
Okay, going wrong.
Longfish?
Like long ass fish.
Oh, eel. An eel, maybe. Steel eel. All right, that's an ink pink. Okay, it's an ink pink.
Yeah, it's an
Steel
egg
eel.
pink.
All right, cool. All right, well, you're pretty fluid with those things. So, okay, I've got you narrowed down to two types, and I'm leaning heavily towards one of the two.
Okay.
Before I tell you what I'm thinking, let me ask you this. Would your friends and acquaintances, if asked in the colloquial sense, the just sort of ordinary sense of the word, hey, is Kay extroverted or introverted? What would your friends say?
Oh. I would say extroverted and I'm bubbly, but I think they'd say introverted.
Okay. And is your self concept aligned with their perception in that regard?
No, not at all.
Do you perceive yourself as extroverted or introverted?
Extroverted, I think.
Yeah.
I
All
think
right.
my hobbies make me like much of a loner than I actually am. Like I don't hang out with them as much because I'm just busy on the internet.
So, do you play computer games?
I do, yes.
Which games do you like to play? What kind of games?
Usually narrative games. I don't like playing online games. Not because I don't like them. It's just I have a very fragile ego and I don't like losing and I don't spend enough time playing, so I'm not actually that good. So if I play around with other people, I realize how bad I am. So and also because I genuinely enjoy good stories. That's why I think I consume so much media. So I think it's mostly like RPGs and like single player games, like
Okay.
massive.
All right. So you're 99%. You're an ENTP. You could be an ESTP, I guess.
Oh no. This is like the result that I get every time, and it is because it's so consistent that I am actually not. I needed somebody else to give me their assessment of it because like I don't trust us because I mean, they're online tests and it's my self-assessment, and I don't trust myself to give like
Well,
objective.
okay. Well, let me tell you why you're
Yeah.
definitely ESTP or ENTP, but I'm saying almost for certain ENTP. First of all, your TI is lights out, and the thing is, it's uh, it's lights out in a way that suggests SI front stack because
Yeah.
there's a lack of need for me to repeat things. Um, and so your TI is definitely one or two. Uh, the question then goes, well, okay, you seem like an action type for a lot of reasons, more than you do a deliberation type. But when I check for FI, it seems to test out as polar, which is consistent with ENTP or ESTP. You also, when you run into trouble trying to explain your FI, you shift to SI, which is consistent with ENTP, not with ESTP. They're going to shift to NI or possibly NE. Um, so that's consistent with ENTP. Your inky pinky adeptness is consistent with ENTP. Your general uh, flow of your speech is alpha quadra, not beta. Um, you just, I, you know, your response on the TE thing, your understanding of the TE requirement there that you have to plan out ahead of time that it'd be a certain number of steps. You're
Yeah.
pausing and then successfully executing it without a lot of uh, native confidence or something like that is consistent with sixth slot and uh, your perspective on NISI stuff in general is consistent with SI front stack, NI ignoring, but NI valuing. So, I mean, I just, everything seems to line up with the ENTP.
Text work. Textbook. Oh my god. I need some like spice to my thing. I thought there would be like that. I would be surprised by the result. I guess more. I mean, no. If something is, then it is. But just I don't have like enough understanding of the cognitive function to be able to and I try to self evaluate, but I don't think I'm very good at it. Like
Well, it's really
so
difficult to self evaluate if you have are trying to work with a framework that's filled with half misinformation or something, which
yeah,
is basically
exactly.
how everybody comes into cognitive functions because they get thrown a bunch of random crap that it doesn't start with a grammar basically.
Yeah,
Um,
no, I agree.
I know that when I took Spanish in after college, um, I really wanted them to explain all the grammar to me first, all the tenses,
And
all the
then
conjugations, and then I could fill in the vocabulary as needed.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Do you feel the
I
same way
get
about languages and stuff?
I can empathize with that because I speak a few languages and that's usually how I go about it first. Like it's really hard for me to just follow textbooks. It just doesn't feel very intuitive to me. So what I usually do is I pick it up like through people and through like getting down like the basics. I get a personal understanding of like the basic rules of whatever the language is, and then I just like I fit it up with my vocabulary trying to make my own sentences and words. I don't go about it like learning what to say what's breakfast, and it just feels like counterintuitive to me.
What's your native
Uh,
language? Because when you first started talking, I thought you were American.
no, no, I'm not. My English is like my third-ish language, I guess. I'm bilingual. Mostly, I'm Arabic and French,
Hmm.
and English is something I've learned later on in life. And yeah, and
You got a good
then
vocabulary too.
thank
There
you.
are a few
Yeah,
words that
there are a few words that like escape me because I'm just not used to them. But
what I was gonna say is there were a few words where I said it and then I went to say it in a simpler way because I
yeah,
recalled, okay, you're not a native speaker, but I could
yeah,
see on
like
your face you
colloquial.
already understood what the initial word was. So that's what I mean by it seems like you got pretty robust vocabulary.
Thank you.
Okay, cool. Well, I don't see any reason to question that you're an ENTP. Everything's consistent with it. You seem like an extroverted intuitor. You talk like an extroverted intuitor. You have TI like an ENTP. You're definitely not an ENFP.
Oh
Don't
yeah,
ever.
I thought that I was maybe an ENFP actually. That was like the one thing that I was maybe sure of. I was like, I don't have any. I don't think I have any FI. Like I my dog died and I moved on very quickly and it was very actually my family was very really that.
More importantly, you got the fastest TI in the West. You're just like, bam, 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 bam. You know?
Oh, that I don't know. I think I usually misconstrue TI with just general cognitive ability of people, like maybe practice. Like that's
It
something that
doesn't
people
work
like.
like that. The thing is, thinking logically in a TI fashion is treating words as though they have meanings ascribed to them for the purpose of argumentation. So, here's what this word is defined as for the purpose of this conversation. Therefore, I've rendered it a binary. Therefore, we can work with it operationally. We can make
Okay.
meaning that's productive because it's this and not that. But
Okay.
FI says, no, no, no. Words don't mean things. People mean things. And they say words that approximate what the person really means.
Okay.
That's the other frame of reference. That's called the frame of reference that pisses you off. It,
Yeah, kind of.
yeah, it will piss you off if somebody tries to bring it as like an argument, basically. If somebody
Yeah, yeah.
says, "But you don't understand."
That's not what they meant. What they meant is that.
I know I said that, but you hey, listen. I just can't express myself well. But what I mean is still correct,
To be fair,
even
I
though I
like
haven't
I
said it.
to be fair, I have taken that stance before in some arguments where I was like, this is not what I meant. I meant this actual way.
Okay, well, but
Even though
listen,
it's
some
not.
people miss. There's one thing to misspeak, or even
Yeah.
to correct yourself. That's perfectly normal for an ENTP. The
Mm.
difference between an ENTP and say an ENFP is an ENTP will say, "Okay, I said that. That was wrong of me when I said that. I should have said this, and I'm either
Okay.
misspoke or I hereby correct myself or whatever." An ENFP will say, "Well, I know I said that, but what I mean to justify my position is correct. I can't
Oh,
express it
okay.
to you, but it's correct. So the
Which is
problem is
inside
my
my.
failure to express my correct feelings to you, not my conclusion."
Oh, okay. I get what you mean. I get the distinction. Because I have a brother who I suspect is an INTJ, and we get along pretty well. Like we argue a lot, but it's like getting along well verbose, like having verbose arguments. And I mean, he's the only person I can think of where sometimes I take that stance, only because he's very nitpicky. But sometimes, like in the words, but I usually try to correct myself, saying like, "Oh, but like it's not what I meant. Just move on. It's a detail. Like this is what I meant." The other point.
He's nitpicky about the words.
Oh, dude, yeah, he is. And I mean, not like in like he gets when I talk, which is why I actually enjoy talking to him so much. But he can be sometimes nitpicky. And but I actually enjoy the fact that he points out when I make contradictions and like I speak out of my ass sometimes, and he just like, yeah, it just doesn't make sense, and like there's something like I
What? Okay. An
enjoy.
ENTP talking out of their ass sometimes?
I know, it's surprising. That's like half of my that all of my life.
Are you sure? I'm pretty
I
sure that
talk
I
to
never
them
talk out of my ass.
again.
Just to be clear to the viewing audience.
I don't usually I don't meet ENTPs in the wild that much. I don't think I maybe I do and I don't realize it, but
I mean, I almost never encounter them. You're the second one in a few days here, and
oh
but
well.
prior to this little grouping of two, I haven't typed in ENTP in ages.
We're rare animals. And I think for girls as well, I think it's rarer. Like
Yeah.
I think like it's mostly like this stereotype online is mostly guys and like whenever you go somewhere it's like guys, guys, guys and it's like I can't relate to some of the stuff they talk about.
Here's
I mean,
the stereotype about ENTP girls, that they're sloppy. They go to sleep in their clothes. They.
see, that thing, I'm not. My room is tidy-ish. It has a system to it. It never gets. The secret about having a tidy room is never to mess it up in the first place. Like I set it up in a way that it doesn't get messed up, so it's I don't have to clean it up.
I think the secret is don't have any stuff.
Oh, don't have any stuff, but that's hard.
It's
to
so
maintain,
hard, right? It's
honestly.
so hard to not have any stuff.
I do try to have a system though. Like when it comes to clothes, I try to have like a system. Like I have usually have two black pants in my pantry, like two black t-shirts, that kind of stuff, and then I add on like stuff that I like because yeah, I can to minimize washing.
I have a system
Yeah.
too. It's called Rachel.
I mean, shout out for great partners. Clean up
Yeah.
after-
Well, the thing is, I try to do my fair share of the chores too. You know, I do a lot of cooking and I clean the bathroom. I kind of am more intermittently spurty with my chore doing.
Yeah, Spurdy is good.
She's more
Because when you stress
consistent.
out, you need to clean. When you have something to do, when you don't want to do it, then it's like, oh yeah, my room is kind of messy. Maybe I
That
should clean it up.
that's when it's time to
That's
clean, right? When you have something more important to do,
more important to do, yes.
right? Then it's a perfect time to clean. You
Perfect time,
understand
yeah.
so well.
Yeah, have an exam the next day. Just like, you know what? Tonight, the fridge is dirty.
Yeah, man, this place is spotless, and I'm totally unprepared for my test.
Dude, it feels like you've done something productive, so it makes you feel better.
Yeah, it does.
And then the test, you know, it goes as it goes usually, and you end up on your feet most of the time, so it's fine.
Okay, I'm gonna end this with a piece of general
Okay, thank you so much.
with a general piece of any ENTP advice. Don't forget to
Yeah.
eat.
Oh no, that's that. I don't forget that.
Okay, good.
good.
Because otherwise you get
Have a
hangry.
good day. And I mean, nice to meet you, Rachel. I've seen her sitting down there say hi on my bed, and yeah, it was great. Thank you.
Thanks. Are you cool with me publishing this?
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, I was nervous at first, but you know, it's okay.
All right, cool. Thanks.